Why is it that so many of us feel more lost now than we ever have before? I know whenever I had graduated college about 6 years ago, and I was working front desk at a gym making $9 an hour. I knew I wanted to be successful. And so, like a lot of people, they start by going on, I went on to YouTube, Google, Reddit, and just trying to find, what's the best business model to start? What high income skills should I be learning? And all those things are great. And truth be told, they all clearly work. But I found very few people to tell me exactly how to know or how to pick those right things. Because at a certain level, we have to enjoy what we're doing. And just having somebody, just do what you enjoy is kind of a loaded question also, because we enjoy a lot of things, but a lot of the things we also enjoy don't pay the bills or aren't going to pay the bills at the level that we would like them to. So as I was kind of going through my own professional journey, I found a model that worked really well for me, because I remember I specifically stated that this was how I was going to do things. And in the last 3 years, my professional development has grown dramatically. So I went from, selling memberships at a gym for about $50K a year to where now I'm running head of ops for a $6 million plus company this year. And we're scaling to get over 25, 30 million by Q4 of next year. And the model that I'm going to give you is more or less exactly how I started to see the world, and it was exactly the mental model that I decided to pursue so that I didn't have to make as many decisions or stress myself out enough or get so paralyzed that I couldn't even move forward. So this this model is more for people who haven't been fed the silver spoon in their life, that had to pay their own way through college or has had to figure out their own path because they don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. Because in our current society, if you are, playing a little bit behind a lot of other people, then your ability to go with the flow or be more like water is that much more important. Okay. So the goal here is capitalization of opportunities. So without further ado, let's get into the model. Okay. So this is the Pathfinder framework. And the purpose of this is to more or less show you how to develop yourself so that eventually you can get to a place where you can bend reality to your will. And so there's a few foundational set of skills or a few key characteristics or stages that you have to go through in order to effectively navigate yourself so that you can find the path that ultimately works specifically for you and your unique strengths, right? So these stages builds on top of the next. And as you go up each stage, the previous stage becomes that much more powerful. Okay, so each stage is designed to leverage the previous one. So you've got the Opportunist Stage, the Achiever Stage, and then the Strategist Stage. In the first stage, the Opportunist Stage, the whole idea or the whole thing that you're trying to do is just take advantage of the opportunities that are currently present in your life. So your entire mentality here is to capitalize on the things that you have in front of you now, so that you can slowly start to train yourself to recognize patterns of opportunity. Because the funny thing is, with a lot of successful entrepreneurs, most of their stories kind of came out of nowhere, right? It's not like they designed the whole process or exactly knew the direction. They just knew whenever there was an opportunity in place that they could capitalize on. And so during this stage, that's all you are trying to do. You're trying to get a little bit better or trying to find opportunities in your life overall where you can improve. So if this is health, then this is going to be things like if you're not moving at all, you're going on a 30-minute walk every single day. You're just slowly improving yourself. So this is the stage where your development as a person becomes more important than specifically the work that you do or the success, because as you build into the next stages, your personality and your character traits that you have are going to hold that much more leverage. Okay. And so your goal during this phase is just to get forward motion on improvement and who you are becoming and feedback. So motion being you are improving, you are doing things that are a little bit, maybe a little uncomfortable, or just moving your life forward, saving a little bit more money. okay? Or, applying to jobs that pay a little bit more. Or in your current job, how can you add value to other people without expecting anything in return? And I know a lot of people are going to argue, well, that's out of my job description, so I'm not going to do it. Well, that's why you're going to stay broke and why you're never going to end up moving forward in life, okay? And so the second part is feedback. You're looking to see what is the result of the thing that you did. Was it good or bad? If it was good, keep doing it. If it was bad, don't do it again. Plain and simple. And so what you're looking for in this stage in developing yourself as being an opportunist, like you're just executing on the opportunities that are right in front of you, is skills, connections, and problems to solve specifically. So I'll give an example. Whenever I was working front desk at that gym, making $9 an hour, there was a weekend where our membership rep he didn't work on weekends. So rather than just say, oh, hey, just come back on Monday, I took it upon myself just to show these people around and ultimately ended up selling them a membership. And then I realized, oh, I'm not bad at this sales thing. I know it's a small sample size, but could be something worth pursuing. What ended up happening is within about 3 to 4 months, I started applying for other jobs at gyms where I could sell memberships and make at least double what I was making now, which was $18,000. So it wasn't going to be hard to try to find something to make $45,000 a year. So that's something that I chose to do. Also, while I was at the gym, I started learning management things. Like, how can I help the front desk get better? I went to my manager and was like, hey, what do you not like doing that I can take off your plate that would still be productive for everybody? So those little things are where you can start to learn skills. You add it to your resume. Once you get the result, all of a sudden you have more opportunities online or wherever you're trying to put yourself out there. Connections. This is just going to be finding people that have higher status and befriending them. If you work a job like for me at a gym, I met a lot of people that did a lot of different things, and some of them had a lot of money. Okay. And so what I did is I befriended them. I started talking to them more. And over time, what that led to was hanging out with them outside of the gym, being friends with them. And then all of a sudden there were more opportunities that came from that, which is actually how I went from, selling gym memberships to selling telecom and cybersecurity. So then my salary went from $45,000 or about $55,000 a year all the way up to $80,000. And so connections, super important. And that's going to come into play later. And then problems. What problems in your life can you solve? Okay. Because that's also something that other people are going to see as valuable. If you have relationship problems, fix your personal problems, because those are the things that are if you have not solved those, it's going to make these next stages that much harder. So in the opportunist stage, all you are looking for is opportunities for growth. And you're starting to train yourself to see opportunities where other people may not. And over time, you're going to get better at seeing, what the higher leverage opportunities are versus the ones that really might not be worth your time. But now that we have a solid base of being able to just see opportunities that might have a potential payoff, now we can go into the achiever stage. So this is the stage where our whole mindset behind it is skill development and adding value to other people. So in this stage, you've probably found an opportunity of something that you could get decent at. For me, it was sales and relationship building. And that during this stage, you want to focus on making your skills better. So for me in sales, it was sales training. It was doing more sales calls, more meetings just to try to get better and to have a stack of results so that I could find better opportunities down the road, but also to increase my own confidence. Value adds. This is going to be anything that just adds direct value to either your organization or the people directly above you that have some form of influence. Because if you can consistently give them value or give them something that they're going to thank you for, the more you're going to be in their good graces, the more they are likely to put you in for a promotion or connect you with somebody else that can make you more money. But this is also how you are going to have a certain skill set that can make you even more money down the road. And so the goals here is, one, you want to get your skill set in the top 20% of the world, which I promise is not that difficult. Now, getting up into that top 10, top 5, top 1%, that's significantly harder, but getting into the top 20% is not very difficult, and it will not take you very long. but you're also wanting to get confidence and proof to yourself that you can do that, because your mentality behind all of this is also super important. Because if you can go into any opportunity with absolute confidence, that's going to allow you to sell yourself to the people that have the opportunity, but also that's going to come off in your work, and you are going to generate more results as a byproduct. And then what you're looking for in this stage is you're wanting to build your ability to remain adaptable. Think of this just in terms of evolution. The most adaptable species are the ones that survive. You want to have a skill set and a way to see the world where you can adapt no matter what. And this is where doing things like getting a little bit friendlier with technology, or at least no-code tools, are going to be valuable for you. And so you're also at this stage going to start to look to scale your skill set into better opportunities. I know I've used sales a lot as an example in this video, but a lot of times the amount of money a salesperson makes has nothing to do with their skills and has everything to do with the actual vehicle that they're in, right? So I went from selling gym memberships, very limited cap on how much I could make, went to selling telecom and cybersecurity, made $30,000, $35,000 more a year. Skill set honestly did not even increase that much. I was just selling higher priced things to businesses rather than straight consumers. And businesses typically have more money, or at least they have more expendable money that they are more likely to spend, even if it's a little risky, because there's some other financial stuff they can move around in the background. So this stage, you're starting to capitalize on your skill set so that we can start to orchestrate our reality and our success in a way that we want, which is the next stage, which is the strategist stage. So during this stage, your entire mentality of the world is creating opportunities for yourself. You are bending reality to your will, because through the last stages, you now know how to identify opportunities. You know how to achieve in those opportunities. Now it's how do we create an opportunity that will allow maximum achievement for me and also have the highest return, right? So the opportunities of networking are even more important here. So your goal during this stage is you are only going to be looking for opportunities that have bigger returns than what you're currently doing, and ideally by a fairly substantial margin. You're going to find this through networking, straight up. It's one of the few ways that you're going to do it. But your goal is to orchestrate your path. Looking for is leverage. So can you use your money to hire freelancers if you're trying to start your own business, have them put things together? Do you have people that can do things for you, or that can introduce you to certain people? Or do you know people? Have you paid to be in networking communities of where there are higher paying jobs, or there are business opportunities that people want to bring you in on? And I'll give my personal example for what I'm at now. The company that I'm currently working for, even though I don't necessarily want to work for somebody for the rest of my life, I have a small piece of a massive pie here rather than a big piece of my own pie right now. So my big goal at this stage of my life is stacking cash, right? And doing something that I'm somewhat, which is operations, which I actually really like, thinking in terms of systems. How I got this job was through strategy. I ended up being onboarded into the company as a closer. I was effective as a closer, and along the way, I decided, you know what? I like operations, so I'm going to start doing operational things for my head of sales and for our CEO, so that when the opportunity comes to needing another operations person or needing a COO, then we'll be able to do that. And so I leveraged my head of sales to eventually put in a good word for me, and actually at least put me in a position to have the opportunity. And because of all these projects that I had already done while I was a closer, like creating S4, improving show rates, for being able to identify data points that decrease cost and increase profitability. But either way, during this stage, like, you are creating your own path and you're starting to put the pieces together accordingly. And the truth is, at this stage, if you are in your 20s, you're kind of lost in your life. It's not because you don't have the stuff to be successful. It's more so you don't have the wisdom to be successful. So there's these terms in, like, whenever it comes to ego development, where you start with knowledge and that progresses over to wisdom. And wisdom is seeing everything, the entire system as a whole. And whenever we're just starting out, especially in our early 20s, like we just don't have a really good model of how the entire world works. And so that makes it really hard to make the decisions on what direction we need to go, just because we can't see the entire whole. We can only see down into the micro, into the little things. So just make sure that if you take anything away from this, follow these, just take the opportunities that are in front of you, and they're going to take you down a path that's going to excite you and ultimately grow you as a person. So, peace.